Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am rockstermaniac, and today we're re-recording the audio for a video that I did in COVEN because OBS decided to screw around with me. And we're going to select the Jailor. This will be kind of a video breakdown, as it were, so I might be pausing the, as you can see, live video from time to comment on certain things. Otherwise, I'll just let you have a look at what's going on. So, as you can see, night one, Lilov immediately comes out with a BG claim. Personal opinion, when someone claims TP right off the bat, I usually don't trust it. But there is no Jester in this Coven list, as you can see in the upper left corner. There is an Executioner, but he's not a Jester yet. So, that move makes no sense to me. We'll be keeping an eye on that. So I'm going to come out and ask this lookout claim to be on me. I'm Troy the Jailor, but I'm not going to tell him it's me as a way of sort of keeping him guessing on the off chance that he's not actually lookout. Is it a weak aggressive play? Kind of. You can probably guess. Will probably attack me. But I could have just picked someone at random, and by doing so, if anything were to happen to that random person, I'd completely have my man susped out. He doesn't know it, though he probably suspects it's me. And we move on to day two. You'll notice my man William Phipps in the lower left-hand corner here says Coven Coordination 10 out of 10. I was so busy with my will, what I failed to notice here is that V was not only stoned by the Medusa, but he was also hit by the PM. So I'm a little behind the times in realizing that there's Potion Master in this game. That'll be important in a bit. So a bit of an interesting moment. I'm aggressively pushing for the Psychic and Sheriff to come out. In fact, I call them non-essential townies, which bit of an odd term to use, but the point of the matter is they're investigative roles. And I need to know who they are, first and foremost, so that Medusa can't stone them and remove their information from our purview. And two, so that if they do get stoned, Medusa can't claim them later. A bit of a push starts on the BG, which I have no problem with. Phipps is going to come out and let me know that he's the doc and that he's been covering the BG. At this point, I'm hoping one of the two of them is a legit TP and is on me, because I have put myself in a difficult position by having come out day one, but I really had no choice. If you're going to push for roles, you need to be prepared to give yours if there's a pushback. We get Matt Pat jailed, and the reason for that is he's using a YouTuber's name, and if anyone else catches on to that, there's a good chance he could get targeted. So I want to know what he is now. It turns out he's our Psychic. I tell him to go ahead and tell everyone in day chat what the hell's going on, because there's always a chance that the stone roll could be Psychic. Only the Medusa should really know that, if anybody. I'm not sure if Medusa works the same way as Janitor in this game, because I haven't played Coven very much. And immediately, the doc wants to know who I had in jail, which is an odd decision. The doc should have no idea who I jailed, so it's weird to be asking me this. On the off chance that it turns out the dock isn't a dock, we do have a plague bearer. And a plague bearer would very, very easily know who I jailed, depending on whether or not he's already infected me. I tell him straight up what the claim was, but not who it was. Now, the TI roles, the sheriff and the psychic, still aren't revealing anything to the town at large. Now, this isn't a ranked game, it's ranked practice. There aren't a whole bunch of Coven players, so you're going to get an odd mix with Coven since it's a paid-for tag on to Town of Salem, where you're going to have guys who are really, really good at the game because they've been playing a lot of regular Town of Salem, but you're also going to get guys who are really, really classic level players who just do not know what to do. We end up pushing up what? And what claims Lookout with a Lookout already dead? Now, this is weird. It can be an executioner whose target was Leia or V, who's now going for the easy jester play. Or it could just be a really, really bad claim, or it could even be legitimate. We've got 3 random towns, but I need to know what it is. And it doesn't feel like a good call. But if it is, we know one of the random towns. And I've already got 2 TP claims, so one of those is also claiming random town. We're starting to get some claims here, but we need to get them a little bit quicker because Medusa's going to end up doing some work if we're not careful. I reveal the psychic because no one has CC'd the psychic claim. And the reason I pushed for psychic reveals is I was hoping someone would CC it without realizing there was a CC, which would put both of them in a very awkward position. No one does, which tells me he probably is psychic. And we're going to move on. We've snagged one of the 3 people from the Psychic's Will, and they're going to claim Trapper. So now I have 3 TP claims. Now, at this point, they probably think this is a pretty safe claim. If they are a Trapper, great. If not, it's a very easy to fake claim as evil. And they don't know about the dock. But I straight up tell them that now I have 3 TP claims to try and get some info out of them. He doesn't quite tell me who the trap is on, and it turns out the dock is legit. And thank God, the dock has apparently decided to switch off of the BG and onto me. By the way, shout out to Shadowflame17, who I met in this game. He's going to turn out to be our doc in this game, and he is the only other person who's really doing any work as town. We've already had one townie drop out. That's Leia the Lookout. That's going to become a recurring problem for us as we move forward, because they're not going to be the last person to just quit randomly. Now, I attempt to get a vote up on S to try and force some claims out of the town, because as long as town's not claiming their roles, evils can just sit back without having to make a claim. But this vote gets turned around, ironically, by my own doc. And all the usual suspects are jumping on this. Lilov's on it, our BG, Coco, our Trapper's on it, Blato, who's in the Psychic's Will's on it, Thomas Danforth, who I have not gotten a claim out yet, is on it. So that makes me feel kind of suspicious of S. They're not talking. I have to take a risk here. We go for the execute. There's always a chance they're an AFK random town because no one has claimed any town roles from us yet. I really don't know one way or another at this point. But then they do open their mouth. And now there's no chance I'm letting up on this because, as you can see, our AFK member has 2 people who have already claimed and been confirmed. However, one of those people is my doc claim who has not come out as doc yet to anyone but me. And if I'm on the ball, I'm going to know a couple things right about now. Because as you can see, our doc is dead. Unfortunately, I'm not quite on the ball. I don't catch the fact that our so-called invest knows who the doc is. I don't catch the fact that there's a doc dead who's been whispering someone up to this point. And if I catch this, there's a member of the Coven dead tonight. Check that doc claim. His will shows very clearly that he's been on the BG Lilov. If you double back a few days, you'll notice that he was whispering Lilov this entire time. So they had a sort of TP circle thing going on. Clearly, someone didn't live up to their end of the bargain. Now, there's always a chance Pirate hit Lilov on this particular night. But then how the hell did the Coven leader know who the doc was? But at this point, I don't know any of that yet. Our psychic finally comes out with some information. He tells me Yeet or Giles is good. That prompts Yeet to claim Vigi. That's a random town claim. Now, I need the evils from day one to claim. I need Blatt and Samuel to come out with something and commit to it. Because I already know that Coco's claiming Trapper, and that's a bit of a susp claim at the moment. Blatto claims Transporter. Normally, I do not push on Transporter claims because they're very easy to confirm, but no one has claimed Transd up to this point. So I'm wondering, is this Executioner turn Jest? Which you'll see, which you might notice is a recurring theme in this video. So many claims coming my way where I was like, is this Executioner turn Jest? Because why would you claim this? What claiming Lookout? Well, no, he actually was a random town Lookout. This is the second time where I could easily have a random town because the role is just so dumb that you shouldn't be claiming this. But I decide to be aggressive. We take him in, and we're going to execute him. Because at this point, I don't have nearly enough information because town's not claiming the roles. And Transporter, you can't be a Transporter without a will. You can't be a Transporter who hasn't transed anybody. That just doesn't happen. It doesn't even happen in Classic. So we execute that, fully expecting to see Jester. Wouldn't you know it, it's the Necromancer. That's lucky, because I have used 2 of my 3 executes, and Coven would have had a 3-to-3 ratio, roughly. The only person I know is confirmed is the Psychic, and even that is tentatively confirmed, because no one is counterclaiming it, but no one's really claiming period. And look, our Vigi has left. Great. On the one hand, it confirms a random town spot. So now I have 2 of them confirmed, the Lookout and the Vigi, which means one of our 2 TPs is definitively fake. The question is which one, because no one has confirmed themselves. White Cracker has left. We don't know what he is yet because he left before the night, after the night phase has kind of come to an end. At this point, I'm hoping he's evil. And I come out with a bit of a clever stratagem. So we know our Trapper has laid their traps. And those traps exist after death. I know that much about Coven. I've played enough games where I have a grasp on what Trappers can and can't do. So I try and start a vote up on our Trapper, because if we X the Trapper, their trap is still in existence. They've done what they need to do. And if it turns out that they're evil, great. If they're not evil, well, we know Lilov's evil, and I can execute them tonight with my last execute. Now here, I yet again missed something. Specifically, oh, too late to go back. Specifically, I missed the fact that the psychic comes out with a will that would have confirmed to me that Samuel Paris is evil, assuming I believe the psychic. Thankfully, I missed that because I would have probably switched and jailed Samuel Paris, and we needed this jail because, as you may remember, the BG was on William. But the BG should have been able to save William. And the BG is the only one other than me who knew William was Doc. And I have a hunch. I've had a hunch from day one that this BG is probably not legit. They should have gotten a kill by now. So I'm going to kill them off. It's a risky move, but I feel like it's the right move. And as it turns out, I am dead right on this. And the main reason I went with this is because our trapper claim was willing to die. They were okay with going along with my plan, which tells me that they are not Coven. We know there's a potion master. We know a potion master's probably claiming TP, and there's our potion master. Now, Paris has been turned to stone by Medusa. Yet another great reason for me, thankfully, not noticing the psychic's will and not jailing him, because that takes someone off the table. But the problem is now we have two stoned rolls. At this point, it's fairly likely one of them was either Plague Bearer or Pirate. The question is which one. And I see White Cracker as an investigator. That's our last random town, so Coco cannot be Trapper now. They immediately come out and tell me they're Pirate. From how quickly that long string of text was whispered to me, they probably did not know that their random town spot had been taken, but regardless, good decision. You don't have the space to claim anymore. You might as well be straight up. The question is it a pirate? Is it Pirate? Or is it Medusa? Because this would be a good move by Medusa as well, to just come out and be like, okay, I'm the pirate. Help me out here. Because I still don't know anything. I know maybe that the psychic is Matt Pat. I don't know jack all as far as the other three go. So we're going to tell the pirate to roll block Giles Corey and hope and pray that they actually are pirate. At this point, Plague Bearer is almost definitely stoned. They should have been Pestilence by now. There's just been way too much opportunity. Like, you gotta believe I'm infected. I've got to be infected. If I'm infected, the Trapper's probably infected. I cannot envision a scenario where Giles Corey and Thomas Danforth aren't both infected unless one of them's Executioner. Yeah, it's not going to matter because we get Thomas Danforth up without the Psychic's vote. I might point out the Psychic to the end, frustratingly stubborn about not helping me out here. My plan is to jail the Psychic, because if they are faking it, at least they can't do anything. And if they're not faking it, at least I keep them from dying tonight. Because I'm out of executes. There's nothing more I can do at this point. I don't have the votes left, with 5 of the 8 town definitely dead, and at least one more probably dead. But we got our Medusa. Giles Corey, I believe, turns out to be Executioner, if I'm not mistaken. Our new friend congrats us on a well-played game. And yeah, Giles Corey, Executioner. Right there. Yeah. We get 3 executes and lead town to victory against its own will. With 3, count 'em, 3, the invest, the vigi, and the lookout, all quitting. Almost half the town just quit. The other half refused to be of any assistance. It was me and Shadowflame the Doc pretty much doing all the work. But we get our win. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Good night.